Hi, I'm trying a new format for this vlog in which I tell you my thoughts in quick succession. These are my raw thoughts, and this is something that I thought would be an interesting thing to do for a book like this. So watch it and let me know if you like it. Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. So I'm here with a reading vlog for a book that's everywhere, and the book is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I think this is first in a series, but I'm not really sure. But this book has been getting so much of traction. Everybody wants to read it. It was so much in demand at my library as well, and it was like weeks before I got my hands on it, and I have to return it in a few days. So I'm like, okay, let me make a project out of this so that I can read it, see what everybody is going on about. Anyway, so this is a book that is touted as a dark fantasy romance of sorts, and apparently it's very steamy. But I've also seen so many people diss on this that I'm like, okay, this is another of those books where people go on and on and on about it. They read, they love it, and then everybody gets in on the game, and then everybody doesn't love it, so things happened. So I wanted to find out for myself what this is about. So today is the 22nd of July, and I'm going to be starting reading this book. This won't be like one of those aesthetic vlogs where you watch me read with music in the background, etc, etc. I'll just come to record my thoughts whenever there are any thoughts. Before I start, I need to see how many pages this has. Okay, 500 pages, almost 500 pages. It's cool, we got this. We got 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 6th. Technically 5 days, because 27th is the last day for me to return this. But let's see. Let us see. I'm 20 pages into this book, and it's giving me Priory of the Orange Tree vibes, because the main character, Violet, is what her sister calls her fragile, and she wants to go into the scrap quadrant, but her mother, who is the general of this war school, she threatens her, saying that if you go into the scrap quadrant, I am going to disown you, or something like, I'm going to pull you out by your hair and make sure you go where I want you to go. That is, go into the Riders quadrant, which is the Dragon Riders quadrant. Now she has to go into this school. There are obviously enemies inside because of her bloodline, because of something that her mother did. So she has to go in, but to go in she has to cross like a parapet of sorts, and it's like very thin, so you have to be very careful. It's an open parapet, and they have to like be very careful where they go, because if it starts raining, it might slip, you might fall down into the ravine and die. But even if you do get to the other side, you've got to be very careful. There's a lot of politics and all that will happen, at least that's what is being told. So it's either graduate or die. And since she is the weakest of the lot, she had a fever, so her body became weak, and etc, etc, etc. And dragons don't bond to weak riders. So what exactly is going to happen after all of this is what basically this book is about. I don't know what to say yet, because I'm just 20 pages in, and it wouldn't be fair also. But that was the gist. I don't even know how to pronounce this name. Yeah, wait. Focus. This is what, like, fantasy. It's like, I'm going to give you names that you cannot pronounce, and even if you do pronounce it one way, when you do pronounce it and you put it out there for the world to see, the world will make fun of you, because that is not how it's pronounced. The same thing happened to someone who called the guy from Witcher. I don't know how his name is pronounced, but someone said Geralt, and the people around him started laughing and making fun of that person, saying it's not Geralt, it's Geralt. Oh well, how would I know? I'm now 3 chapters in. I'm on page 45, which seems like an ominous number because I seem to read up till somewhere in the 40s and then stop reading it altogether. But see, I'm not really surprised, but I am liking it so far. I mean, yeah, the main character Violet is a sort of first thing she notices is, oh, his muscles are, and he looks hot, and oh my god, my heart clenches in my chest, etc., etc., etc. But other than that, the storyline about becoming dragon riders and all of this, it's pretty good so far. I want to say this, but I know I shouldn't be giving spoilers, especially since this is such a relatively hot new release. So I'm just going to give my thoughts. Unless whatever happens in this book warrants me telling you what happened, I will just limit myself to talking about how I felt about it. Hello. Today is the 26th of July and I have to return this book tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day. And I have to return it and I can't even renew it. But if I can't finish this book today, then I will switch to the ebook. So as of now, I'm about 114 pages into this book and I have some thoughts. I can't hold this book up, so I'm going to put it aside. But I have thoughts. But before I get into those thoughts, I want to talk about how this book has a magic system in which the dragons bond with their riders and hand them their powers, channel their powers through the riders. And it's a very interesting thing, although it also sort of makes me feel like I have seen this before in the Priory of the Orange Tree. I know it's not the same system, that there is a whole lot of difference in that, but it somehow made me feel like, okay, am I going into a reboot of the Priory or what? But it's been pretty interesting so far and I have been a little animated when it comes to thinking about what I think about this book, because there was a place in which there's this particular something that one of the characters says, and he says, this place can warp almost everything about a person we. It cuts away the bullshit and the niceties, revealing whoever you are at your core. They want it that way. And I just sang it in the I Want It That Way tune. I don't know. The level of bullying in this book has me like gritting my teeth, like stop. And Violet has such a roving eye. Every time she sees a handsome man or a shirtless man, and it's worse if it's a handsome and shirtless man, she just zones out because of how hard she is, internally drooling at him. I mean, chill, please. I mean, I understand, I get it, but come on. I get that remembering names is a difficult thing, but every time someone talks, Violet goes, shit, what was their name? I can't remember. Every single time. Just 100 pages, and it has happened so many times, it just got to my nerves. If you don't remember, it's okay. You don't have to say that every single time. Like, shit, what's their name? My question to Violet is, babe, how many times are you going to say variations of, you're not going to handle me? Stop. Just stop. It's creepy. So many descriptions of dragons, but where are the dragons? And they stop fantasizing every time his dragon is mentioned. It's not a euphemism or something. It's just you just zone out every time. Why is this fellow helping her? Suddenly, out of the blue. So I came into this book thinking there will be dragons. There are just descriptions. Where are the dragons? Show me. Again, not euphemism. Are you teaching her how to fight, or are you seducing her in front of the whole squad? Violet, control yourself. You have such a one-track mind. You have control yourself, please, for the love of God. Hey, you stop asking stupid questions like, you're not going to disarm me, you're not going to handle me. Just shush. Shh. I need dragons. Give. So, I'm okay. I have thoughts, but I'm okay. Hi, today is the 27th of July and I haven't made much progress on this book. I'm just about 192 pages in and I have to return it. Like, I am going in about half an hour to go and return this book. It's a shame because I really have been enjoying it so far at least, and I'm debating whether to get this book, to buy this book and maybe continue on from there. But I'm also scared that maybe if I buy the book and it ends up not being that great, then I'll regret it, etc, 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 because books are not cheap here. So I'm like, what should I do? But here are a few more of my reactions to whatever has been happening in this book. Violet's way of coping with difficult physical tests is pretty genius if you ask me. I just wish they worked for me. Of course, I'm not going to tell you because even though they're not like a critical point in the book, it shows her character. So there have been so many deaths already in the book, but there was one particular death that shocked me beyond reason. Like, I can't even explain why that shocked me so much, but it did. Ay, there she goes again, swooning because he smells good. Babe, hello, here, stay with me. Control. Dane is now annoying me with how insistent he's being. Like, I know it comes from a well-intentioned place, but man, you have got to back up, man. Don't crowd her like that. Die! Dragons! Dragons, dragons, they are finally here. Yes, yes. I was looking for dragons. I was clamoring for dragons. I was demanding that they be here, and they're finally here. I had this sort of feeling and intuition that this is what is going to happen, and I went, and that's exactly what happened like a few pages later, and I was like, oh my god, my prediction skills, are they that good or is the book just predictable? I don't know, but I loved what happened. I love how righteous Violet is, and I'm also exasperated by it. She'll go like, I'm not going to do this because this is wrong. I'm not going to condone this. I'm not going to support you because this is just wrong. And I'm like... And now that the dragons are here, they are like grumpy, sarcastic dragons, and I am here for it. I love them. I'm just living for the interaction between the dragons and Violet. There were so many points where I was just staring at the book because of how emotional it was making me. A dragon was making me emotional. Imagine that. And then there was a development that had me cackling. Like, I was grinning for a good 10 minutes. Throughout the next however many pages, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Oh, so there are those hypocrites in the book as well. They make the rules, and when things don't go according to what they want them to go, it's like all hell breaks loose. No, hypocrites. And the last thought that I remember before I close the book is that how annoying Dane has become to me. I know that he is protective of Violet. He wants to protect her at all costs and wants to make the right decision doing it, but he's downright suffocating. And this makes me wonder if there is something underneath all of it, some heinous plan of sorts. Because more often than not, in a book like this, in a story like this, something like this comes up. There's a lot of backstabbing and treachery and all of that. I don't know if Dane can be that to Violet, because he's already confessed a couple of things that he would or wouldn't do to Violet. So I don't know if that will happen, but it's just somehow dal mein kuch kala hai, that sort of thing. So that's where I left off. I'm at page 193 at the moment, and it's wrenching my heart to be returning this book. I can't even renew it because it has other people are waiting for it, and I should have read it earlier, right? I never learn. Hello. Today is the 30th of July, and since the last update, I haven't read much. I had to return the library book, as I've already told you, and now I've switched to the ebook. But obviously, as always, I have some thoughts. First, the power distribution. I love how it looks, but I'm still wary because anything can happen, right? There she goes again. Stop salivating at the sight of him, woman. The banter between the riders and the dragons is so precious. I love the connection that Violet has with her dragon Tane, and it's just, oh, this is awkward. I have a feeling like something is going to happen in the future in this book that's going to bite them both back. And by both, I mean Dane and Violet. There is nothing more sacred than the archives. Even temples can be rebuilt, but books cannot be rewritten. Damn right. You know, throughout this book, it's really eerie how quickly talk of death becomes so casual. Like, oh, now he's dead kind of thing, when actual death is anything but casual. Violet just ripped into him, and I am here for it. Yes, finally. Wait, hold on. What the actual frog just happened? Like, the way dragons and humans are arguing with each other, like literally arguing with words because they are concerned with each other, is so amusing and so heartwarming to see. It's like making my days. Hell, I'd paid good money to see him lose it, to be the one he lost it with. Nope, I shut that thought down immediately. Can I punch Dane in the face? Please, just once. I feel bad, but then again it was a pretty effed up thing to do, so I'm like, okay, but then again I'm not convinced of either way. Rebellions and cruelties and wars and uprisings and killings and executions and separations and heartbreaks, oh god. What the effing hell is right? That's exactly it. Stuff being covered up is upping the ante for this book, politics wise, and I'm here for it. I'm really intrigued as to where this story is going. So right now I'm at 52%, so I'm going to read for a while and get a good chunk of it in before I can come back and tell you my thoughts about it. Hi, so today is the 31st of July and I have gotten through a chunk of the book since the last update. Okay, let's move on to the thoughts that I had during the last, I think it was 25%, because I'm right now at 77. There's 23% to go and I'm hoping to finish this today so that I can keep this book in the July section and not move it to August, okay? The way Rhiannon is so mortified at the way Violet talks to Xaden is so damn funny, especially because Xaden is their superior. So when Violet says to Xaden, go away unless you have something useful to say, and Rhiannon is like so mortified, she's so scandalized that she murmurs under her breath so that Violet can hear, and she's like, the way you talk to him. Like, she can't believe Violet is doing this to herself. And to that Violet goes, so what's he going to do? Kill me? Which, if you read the story, is 10,000 times funnier. And at this point I remembered reading a review of this book on Goodreads in which someone was complaining about how these people spoke. They were saying something like, nobody talks like that in a fantasy world. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, it's the author's world, it's a fictional world, which is the whole point, and the author can make those characters do whatever she wants them to do or say whatever she wants them to say in whatever manner she wants. See, you can like it, dislike it, hate it, love it, the whole thing, but you can't say that this is something that they wouldn't do in a fantasy world. That's not up to us, that's up to the authors. It's their world, they created it. You just say whether you liked it or not, that's all. Why this came to me at this point, I cannot tell. Okay. Rein it in a little, Violet, please. Just a little. This is extreme even for you. Again, I need Dane to stop doing whatever he is doing, or I might just snap and hurt a fictional character. I don't know how, but I might just do it. Okay, is this where Violet's going to lose it? The dragons are at it. Good lord, oh my god. You're in public. People, please, you're in public, please stop. Oh good God, stop. You're giving me secondhand embarrassment. Okay, I'm going to punch Dane in the face. I'm allowed, right? Please tell me I'm allowed, please. Boy, that boy gets on my nerves like no other. Oh wow, now I have beef with a very powerful general as well. Perfect. I read Squad Battle as Squad Bottle multiple times and I'm mortified. It's like saying Sean Bean. It shouldn't be Sean Bean. It's Sean Bean or Sean Bon. Okay, I'm losing it. I'm getting bored now. Okay, now they're just putting in details as if they're hoping that readers won't notice it. We have 6 days to figure it out. Like, okay, wait, what? We have 6 days to figure what out? Tell us also. Ah, that. Okay, now I get it. I get it. You know what? The thing that's been scratching away at my brain, no pun intended, I can only imagine how annoying it must be to constantly have voices in one's head. If you have other people's voices in your head, it's like you're stripping that person of all their rights to privacy. That they do not have any privacy. They stop flirting in the war room. Oh my God, oof. You know what? I'm not even surprised at how often I scream about wanting to punch Dane. He is one of the most irritating characters ever. But Violet mocking Dane is absolutely precious. There should be more of it. Please, please give me more of it. Violet standing up for herself and putting Dane in his place. Oh no, 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 oh no. One of the chapters starts off with, no one stays friends forever. Eventually those closest to us become our enemies in some way. Who? Who are you talking about? If you have some backstabbing shite going on, then I will lose it. It's not like I have been in total control throughout this vlog, but I am infinite is such a tired, redone, overdone trope by this point. But the point in the story at which it comes is sort of reassuring in its own way. So I'm like, okay, you are infinite, fine. I will consider myself to be infinite as well. But what if I don't want to be infinite? What if I just want these pains to go away? Have you ever considered that? There he goes again. Dane. He's just so freaking annoying. He's like a mosquito buzzing in your ear that you just can't seem to get rid of. No matter how many times you look for it, you think you got it when you do this, but nope. It's a war college and she sees death every day, but when she is the cause for one, she is riddled with guilt. It says a lot about her. I love how respectfully protective Dane is. Dragons making me emotional. Dane snorting with amusement and teasing Violet will never not be funny to me, and I love that they have that kind of banter between them. So that's where I'm at the moment. I'm at 77% and things have gotten interesting, but they've also kind of plateaued at this point. But I'm really interested to see how the author wraps this book up and at what point she leaves this on. I'm really 100% sure that I will read the second book that's coming in November, irrespective of whether or not I end up liking the book, that is, because somehow I have gotten attached to the dragons, if not the human characters in the book. And I sort of relate to Violet on a chronic pain level. So yes, now I'm going to go have dinner and I will resume reading after dinner. Okay, so it's late in the night and I've just finished reading Fourth Wing, and what a ride it was. If the entire book had been paced the same way as the last 10 or 15% was paced, it would have been an even better book. But I have had my thoughts as usual. So before I get on with talking about what exactly I thought about the book, let me just do a quick recap. Okay, I know, but how many more times are you going to say anything further than this would complicate an already complicated situation? Like, we already know. Get on with it. And can I say how much I liked the friendships that were forged in here? It's so amazing to see people standing by each other in the midst of all this death and treachery and whatnot. Where has this confidence been hiding, and why does this come out only when it is that man in question? The way innocent children are made to prove their loyalty just because their parents didn't align with the thoughts of the majority of the powers that be, or the powers that won, is so pissing off to see. It's like an analogy or a metaphor for the real world. I didn't say anything. There he goes again. Stop undermining her, you complete ass. Oh my god, this guy is getting on my nerves. I have a bad feeling about this. I have a bad feeling about this. Can I say I saw this coming somehow? I don't know how, I can't explain it, but somehow it feels like, this is what was going to happen anyway. What in the seven hells? I did not see that coming. Another twist. Why have you been leaving these to the very end? See, I'm not complaining though, but I have the distinct feeling that it's going to be one hell of a cliffhanger. Okay, this is amazingly action-packed. I'm in love with all the action. All the dragons, the battle, the fighting. It's something to behold. It's like all that adrenaline pumping through your veins. If something happens to Dane, I swear to God, what in the... What the... Oh my god. Okay, that ending, that shocker of an ending has me by the throat. Like, I need to know what happens next, but I also know that it's going to be like 4 months is a long wait for the second book to come out. Why did I read it now? Oh, okay. Before I can say anything else, let me just try to condense my thoughts about this book into a short, just so that I don't elongate this video. But there was so much hype around this book. This is one of those books which I jumped into because of the hype and also because of that cover, because that's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous cover. But somehow, even though I was pretty enthralled in the first 200 pages, to the point where I was like, I have to return my library book. So since I'm returning the book, should I go and get a copy of my own, etc, etc, etc. And then it plateaued. It just became repetitive of sorts until the very end, where it picked up so well. There was so much action, so much going on, and it just, my heart was pumping while I was reading it. But I somehow feel like if this had been shorter, it would have been a much crisper book, because there's so much fluff in here that it just feels like, why? But I get it. I know when I'm reading this that this is probably a study into the character who's saying it, or the character it's being talked about, and into the whole plot and etc, etc, etc. But then in the grand scheme of things, I just didn't see the whole point. There was a lot that could have been chopped down, and yet I am like oscillating between one extreme end of the higher spectrum on which to rate this book to the other, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Whatever I say, whatever quips I have, there are some characters that I was really irritated by, some characters that I hated. Now I have beef with a bunch of characters who don't exist, and there are some that I just had a bad feeling about, but it got flipped on its face. But overall, it was a good mix. It felt like It was a good experience reading it because there's so much dragons and riders and dragons bonding with riders and them being inside each other's heads and that power channeling through them. And it just felt nice, like to move out of reality for a bit and go into a world where there's all this majesty, all this magnificence. And to have read this was a good experience. I wouldn't say great, but for me, it was not as fun as so many people had been fawning. Like after thousands and thousands of rating, the book had 4.7 on Goodreads. But then again, you can't know if a book will work for you or not by just that. So you have to read it to find out for yourself. A book might end up surprising you. So it just didn't feel like, oh my god, the best book in the whole world and all of that. It was good. It was fun, but it had its shortcomings, it had its shortfalls, and I think I've said pretty much enough throughout this vlog. I don't know if you like this, but I hope you do, and let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more vlogs of this type, because I had a lot of fun filming this vlog. So what did you think of this vlog, of this video? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Have you read Fourth Wing? And do you intend to pick Fourth Wing up after watching my video or otherwise also? And should I make more vlogs of this kind? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.